Financial News Network, I'm Christy Duffy. JP Morgan Chase has climbed back into positive territory Friday after opening down 7 cents at $42.16. This is in despite of a report that a court-appointed receiver is trying to recover funds from the bank for victims of Tom Petter's Ponzi scheme. The bank is being sued for more than $300 million because it should have known that money it seized from Petter's was the result of fraud, the suit alleges. The Minnesota businessman was convicted last year of perpetrating a $3.7 billion Ponzi scheme that counted hedge funds, pastors, missionaries, and retirees among its victims. JP Morgan seized the assets after Petter's arrest. For further updates, stay tuned. You're watching the Financial News Network. I'm Christy Duffy.
Hello everyone, welcome to Global Government News. Today is Tuesday, January 4th, 2011, and I'm Darko. Welcome to part 2 of this economic news bulletin. Listeners, please visit my website, www.ggnonline.com. That's ggnonline.com. We covered this article already, talked about the value-added tax, and its change will hide an 8% price raise, and it says the cost of many goods and services will rise by more than 3 times the rate of the value-added tax increase as businesses use the tax to mask a more dramatic price review, leading industry experts warned today. And then we went over this. Britain increases the value-added tax despite concerns, and we talked about what it was going to be used for. And okay, so this is a new article. Britons to spend first 5 months paying taxes. Well, how do you like that, Brits? You know, here in the U.S., I know the first 4 months we pay taxes. So, I mean, it's not a very a positive, figure or concept to think about going into this new year, that you're going to end up slaving away almost half the year paying the state off so that they won't arrest you or kill you. Britons will spend every penny they earn during the first 5 months of next year on taxes, a leading think tank has calculated. And wow, I'm just looking at this. I see the little fleur-de-lis and then the little Iron Cross or Knights Templar. And man, just everything is so Masonic. It's everywhere. So it says Tax Freedom Day is the day when Britons began working for themselves rather than the taxman, and falls on May 30th in 2011 compared to May 27th this year, the Adam Smith Institute revealed. The main reason for the 3 extra days and the rise in value-added tax, which increases from 17.5% to 20% on January 4th. So... And Tom Clottery, executive director of the Adam Smith Institute, described Britons as being, quote, desperately overtaxed. Says, as well as hitting every household in the country, the VAT hike is going to dent consumer confidence and put a damper on our economic recovery. And it says the government is right to give priority to cutting spending and plugging the deficit, but as Tax Freedom Day shows, Britons are still desperately overtaxed. The fact that we spent almost 5 months working for the state, so there you go, exactly what I said, and only 7 months working for ourselves and our families is shocking indictment of big, wasteful government. And you have to remember this, guys. If you have a central bank, which you guys do, and we do over here in the U.S., private central banks, then you're also paying a hidden tax and inflation that you'll never see. So I mean, really, you're really working almost, 7 to 8 months out of 12 months for the bankers and for the corporations, for the government, right, which is a big, humongous corporation. So that's just an awful, god-awful thought to think of. And, I'll throw this out there like I do every once in a while. If you've never thought about a stateless society, you might want to start thinking about it, because this is only going to get worse. I don't see taxes ever really going down unless they kill a lot of us off and they really don't need a big, humongous, mega state anymore, which down the road they will have, where you won't have actual countries. You'll just have regions and trading blocks and huge mega cities. And who knows, outside in the rural areas there may not be any people, so there won't be any taxes. But inside the cities, these huge mega cities, that's where all the people will be living. Maybe they will be highly taxed. Maybe they'll eventually cut the tax, but I don't see that happening, because they have to fund their little enslavement state, a little enslavement infrastructure somehow. Moving on here, tax cut bill signed by Obama, packed with obscure stocking stuffers for businesses. And you know what? I just want to touch on one last thing, guys, to add to my little point that I was making about stateless society is that for people that feel or make the argument they are voluntarily paying taxes, I just want to throw this out there. Try not paying your taxes next year. Let's say you win a lottery, or like me, I'm writing a screenplay and I'm almost finished. And let's say I sell it, I make 100,000, 500,000 off of it. You know, and I say, you know what, I don't really want to pay taxes because I don't really agree with the idea or the concept of stealing money from me and to give to somebody else. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and keep it. You know, it's I want roads and all that, but I think that we can do that privately. I don't think we need to have a humongous government in order to just have roads, right? Or a justice system, which is basically, it's not really justice at all. Most of the innocent people are locked up for victimless crimes. So I mean, it's not really they don't handle justice. They don't handle the economy. They rig it, and that's why you have a big corporatist, big government, big private sector, big corporation type economic system. So all the arguments for it is it doesn't really work, especially that you voluntarily pay your taxes. Because if you don't pay it, they'll come to your door and start harassing you, sending you letters, and then threaten you with imprisoning you. And if you resist, they'll shoot you and kill you. So you don't pay it voluntarily, just so you know that, in case you didn't know. Tax cut bill signed by Obama packed with obscure stocking stuffers for businesses. The massive new tax bill signed into law by President Barry Soetoro. Actually, you know, Freeman, he thinks, it's his little theory that he's actually a reincarnation of, is it Nosferatu? Not Nosferatu, but that's the vampire dude. But one of the Egyptian pharaohs, the whole family, they actually brought him back with their DNA. Pretty far out there, but man, I've seen the pictures and there's a striking resemblance of them. I don't think it was King Tut, but anyways, you can go check out the Freeman perspective. I'm sure, you know, he's got a lot of stuff on that. But it says all kinds of holiday stocking stuffers for businesses, tax breaks for producing TV shows, grants for putting up windmills, rum subsidies for Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. There's even a tax break for people who buy racehorses. Millions of homeowners, however, might feel like they got a lump of coal. Homeowners who don't itemize their deductions will lose a tax break for the paying local property taxes. Again, what are local property taxes? If you don't know this, just think about it this way. Majority of people, unless you're a big Rockefeller or Rothschild type tycoonist, you don't own a lodial title to that property. So you don't actually own the land underneath your house. Most people don't. The state does. So you're paying a renter's tax for your house to sit on that property. So just so you know that, just like with your plates, when you pay a registration fee, that's a tax, right? That's actually not a tax. It's a rental fee, right? You're paying a registration tax on your plates because you don't own your car. You don't have the allodial title, the MSO, unless you paid cash. But if you didn't, that you have a certificate of title. You don't actually possess the title, so you don't own the car. You're registering it, which means transfer of ownership. So you see all these little. You see how this whole thing works. Basically, I'm trying to make my point here, but it's all a fraud. So I think you get it. Sorry. Israel sets steep rise in taxes on oil and gas. Israel looks to push through sharp increase in oil and gas taxes after a committee of experts recommend nearly doubling the state's share of future revenue from oil and gas finds. And we're going to move on here. The European stock markets drop. European stock markets have tumbled on the last day of 2010 as the continent's financial woes continues. And Eurozone inflation soars to new high. This is from the Financial Times, carried by CNN or Time. Eurozone inflation rose in June to its highest since the bloc's 1999 formation. Ooh, the trading bloc. Ooh, sounds very communist. Data showed on Monday as political opposition mounted to an expected European Central Bank move to raise its main interest rate this week. Prices were 4% higher in June than in a year earlier, twice as high as the ECB's inflation target, according to preliminary estimates by Eurostat, the European Union's statistical office. So, Estonia just adopted the euro. Those stupid people. They should have learned from Ireland. They should have learned from the other states, but they didn't. They should have learned from what Greenland, that actually prospered when they got rid of the euro. When they got off the euro, they've actually been able to weather the financial storm. But no, it says the Baltic state of Estonia early Saturday became the 17th European Union member to adopt the joint European currency, the euro. So, and then we move to this. 1/3 of Estonians drop old currency, survey says. Some 28% of Estonian citizens already have only or mostly euro banknotes in their wallet, according to a survey published by the European Commission on Monday. And keep moving here. Euro has 1 in 5 chance of lasting decade, UK think tank says. So there you go, right? If you don't want to believe me, believe the experts. The euro currency area has only 1 in 5 chance of surviving in its current form over the next 10 years because of competitive imbalances between its members, a leading British think tank said on Friday. And upbeat markets ease fears of double-dip recession. And says here, a wave of euphoria on the London market was widely interpreted as a vote of confidence in the UK and prospects for a strong recovery in 2011. Shares recovered strongly after traders took heart from manufacturing figures that showed the sector made strong progress in December in Britain and several continental countries. Moving on to some local news. Agenda. Education, smoking, alcohol sales atop legislative agenda here in Indiana. It says a new Indiana General Assembly will soon arrive in Indianapolis. Change, everybody, change, right? Change is good. Where its members will debate education reforms, re-education, indoctrination reforms, right? They're always worried about education. Why? Because it is about attacking the next generation before they come to age, right? Before their legal age, as they say. So they're always worried about grooming, concerned with grooming the next generation, the next culture of slaves. Smoking and alcohol laws, yeah, they want to try a full-on statewide smoking ban in here in the conservative state of Indiana. It says alcohol laws, they do want to stop the ban alcohol on Sundays. It's pretty crazy here in Indiana. We got a full alcohol ban on every Sunday. And, of course, they're moving towards this. They shouldn't be allowed to use their cell phones while driving, so moving towards that. So, like I said, conservative, like wink, wink. They're not really conservative. They're just a bunch of fascist Nazis like every other state. Portugal's debt rating downgraded by Fitch. Keep moving here. Wall Street bankers publicly modest eye fancy toys. Wall Street executives may face smaller bonuses and a public that still eyes them with suspicion. This is to create class warfare, of course, guys. But that isn't stopping them from rediscovering their love of luxury cars, oceanfront homes, and private jets. Gold, grains, and commodities are standouts in 2010. From gold to grains to oil, commodities finished 2010 at or close to their highest levels in years. And we're going to finish up here. Got about 10 more articles. New laws govern guns, web, and banks. More provisions of healthcare measure also begin this year. That's right. A lot of states are trying to create their own laws so that they're not forced by the federal government to increase Medicare and all that, basically the healthcare barrel. A raft of new federal and local laws ring in the new year, governing a span of topics from healthcare and financing to texting, guns, and smoking. So same crap, right? Same crapola. U.S. debt. They're so worried about cigarettes and alcohol, aren't they? Oh, God, dude. U.S. debt limit fight would be catastrophic, White House says. And we move on to this. Goolsbee says failure to raise U.S. debt ceiling would be catastrophic. I don't know if he's a Skull and Bones member or if it's like the other Goolsbee, but either way, one of them is a Skull and Bones member. So if he's saying this, then you shouldn't go for it, right? Chairman of the U.S. Council on Economic Advisors said if Congress fails to raise the debt ceiling, in other words, allow the government to spend more, the impact on the economy would be catastrophic. In 2011, the baby boomers start to turn 65. 16 statistics about the coming retirement crisis that will drop your jaw. Check that out. Links will be posted. Bank of America to buy back bad loans. 2011 economic apocalypse for the U.S. Russia in 2010, oil output hits post-Soviet record. Webster Tarpley believes Russia will be a big superpower in the next 5 to 10 years. Russia-China oil pipeline opens, and bankruptcy filings leapt 9% last year. The rise of the new global elite. Check that out from The Atlantic. Very open. And 6 top financial trends for 2011. This is Global Government News, and I'm Darko. Thank you.